Let's begin. Today's December 22nd, 2024, and we're solving the Daily Turing Machine Puzzle. Today's puzzle uses the following 5 criteria cards. Criteria card 7, 10, 12, 16, and 21. And the puzzle uses the green verification cards. The code above is your way to get more information on today's puzzle by searching the code on turingmachine.info. Let's go solve. So in the grid above, we've got our 5 criteria cards. On the top row, we've got criteria card A, criteria card B, and criteria card C. On the bottom row, we've got criteria card D and criteria card E. Criteria card A takes a look at our last digit, the circle digit, and the Turing machine will let us know whether it's an even digit or an odd digit. Criteria card B will take a look at the 3-digit solution, and the Turing machine will let us know how many 4s there are. Are there no 4s? Is there a single 4? Perhaps 2, maybe even all 3 are 4. Criteria card C will take a look at our first and last digits, triangle and circle, and compare them. Should the value of triangle be less than circle? Should they be equal? Or should the value of triangle be greater than circle? Criteria card D, again, will take a look at our 3-digit solution, except this time it'll let us know a little bit about the ratio of even to odds. Should there be more even than odds, or should there be less even than odds? And finally, criteria card E, again, will take a look at our 3-digit solution, but this time it'll let us know a little bit about its structure, so to speak. Specifically, it can inform us whether there is a pair in our solution, as in the example 131, or alternatively, there are no pairs, but there are 2 different scenarios. One where all the digits are distinct, as in the example 134, or all digits are the same, as in the example 222. And remember, the objective of today's puzzle is to find that unique 3-digit code that abides by all of the 5 criteria cards we just described. And we're going to start off with an initial proposal of 314. So I think the first thing I'd like to test is criteria card A. Okay, so the Turing machine does approve of my choice in circle. I did pick an even 4, and since the Turing machine approves of that, yes, it must be true that circle is an even digit. So let's go ahead and type that up in our notes in section A, and we'll say that circle is an even digit. And of course, since it is even, let's go ahead and cross out the 3 odds. I think the next thing I'd like to test is criteria card D. Okay, so the Turing machine approves of my choice in my proposal 314. Remember that criteria card D will let us know a little bit about the ratio of even to odds. Well, in my proposal, I do have 2 odds to a single even, and the Turing machine approves of that. So it must be true that there should be less even than odds. So let's go ahead and type that up in our notes in section D. And we will say that there are less even than odds. And, well, that information plus what we determined from criteria card A's result must mean that both triangle and square have to be odd, since that's what criteria card D told us, that there's a majority of odds, but we do have that single even in circle. So let's go ahead and cross out our evens in both triangle and square. And so basically we are looking at a odd, even solution. Let's see, what else? Well, I wonder if those odds are paired up. Is there a way? Let's see. And by the way, criteria card C now, since we are dealing with an odd in triangle and an even in circle, we know that they can't be equal. So that means that criteria card C now is a 50-50. And let's see. Yeah, let's go ahead and test criteria card E. Okay, so the Turing Machine does not approve of my choice. If you look at 314, they are all distinct, meaning that there are no pairs, but that is incorrect. The Turing Machine actually prefers or is informing us that there should be a pair of digits. So let's go ahead and type that up in our notes in section E, and we will say that the solution has a pair of digits. And specifically, we know that it must be those odds. So those odds will be paired up. Okay, well, that does it for this round. We have completed our 3 Turing tests. We're now going into the phase where we'll be discussing how to construct a good second round proposal. So notice we did not test criteria card B, inquiring how many 4s there are. Well, now that we've established that only circle is even, it's either there or it's not. And then we also did not test criteria card B, comparing the first and last digits in our solution. And that about does it. So really it comes down to both of these 2 criteria cards, B and C. So let's see. So I don't think the 2 pairs of digits can be 1s, because in both cases, well, I guess, let's see. If it's 1, 1, I guess technically it still could be 112 or 114 based on what criteria card B reveals. So it could be that triangle should be smaller, and then criteria card B will let us know which of the 2 evens it might be. What else? And I think the same might go, well, let's see, even though, yeah, I think that's plausible. What about 5-5, 5-5-2, or 5-5-4? So again, yeah, we'll know that it'll be greater, right? Triangle will be greater than circle. And then criteria card B will let us know which of the 2. That's plausible. And then what about 3-3 in the middle? If it's 3-3, that is interesting. 3-3. Yeah, because somehow we have to figure out what those values are. And if it were, say, 3-3, and it's less than, yeah, wow, let me see about that. Could you, yeah, maybe that you can't even, yeah, I don't know, wow. How do we pick our triangle and square? Yeah, notice also, well, there's no, yeah, so obviously, yeah, the square makes sense that it's not even mentioned in our criteria cards. So it'll be forced into whatever triangle is. And so that's what criteria card C will help us determine, is what is that triangle value? So let's see, if it's a 2, yeah, so if it's a 2, you won't be able, I don't think you'll be able to figure out if it's greater, if triangle is greater. Because then how would you pick between 3 and 5? They both work. And I think the same thing would be if circle is a 4, I don't think it'll be larger than triangle, because then again, how would you pick between 1 and 3? So let's see, how do we force the issue? So if it's a 2, it'll be less than, I mean, if it's a 2, then I think we should say triangle should be less than. If it's a 4, it should be greater than. So I think our only two options are like 112 and 554 would be my thinking. So if that is the case, then it's just a 50-50. And so let's go ahead and say 554. Let's give that a try. Okay, and so just before that last digit is even, there are more odds, and we do have a pair. Okay, now the question is, can we somehow deduce? We may be able to deduce, I think, perhaps maybe criteria card C, but maybe not B. Yeah, so let's go ahead and test criteria card B. Let's see if that's helpful. Okay, so it is true the Turing Machine does approve of my choice in having a single 4. So it is true. Let's type that up in our notes. It is true that the solution has a single 4-digit. Okay, so that means that, yeah, circle cannot be a 2. And so now we're trying to figure out, should circle be less than or greater than triangle? Well, if it were to be greater than, how would you pick between 1 and 3? They are both great. Circle is greater than triangle. 4 is greater than 1 or 3 in triangle. I don't see how you could pick from that. So I think for that fact, I think I'm going to deduce that it must be that circle is actually less than. So let's go ahead and type that. So I'm going to say we're going to deduce that triangle is greater than circle. So let's see. Triangle is greater than circle. Because, yeah, if we picked 114 or 334, both of those cases would be ambiguous because they are both triangle are smaller than circle. So we actually need to be looking for it to be greater. So yeah, so let's go ahead then and cross out the 1 and the 3 in both triangle and square. So it looks like our solution is 554. So if it turns out to be accurate, yeah, we made the right sort of interpretation of what the possibilities would be. So yeah, so we outright deduced that triangle should be greater. Okay, well, let's go ahead and verify 554. So 554. Fantastic. Well, how did we do versus the Turing Machine? Well, it is a 5 criteria card puzzle, and we only did 4 tests, so that's very promising. We did do A, D, E in the first round, and we only had to do B in the second, and we outright deduced C. So A, D, E in the first. So A was correct, D was correct, and E was incorrect. And in the second round, we tested B, whether that even was a 2 or a 4, and we outright deduced the comparison of triangle and circle. Awesome. We did it in 4 questions, beating the Turing Machine by 2. So the Turing Machine required 6 tests. We only did it in 4. So again, a little bit of perhaps being fortunate that it was a 4. And what else? Yeah, I'm not sure. Obviously, we deduced this, and that was just with the help of, setting ourselves up to have a fewer number of possibilities to consider. Well, what about you? How did you solve it? What criteria cards did you choose? And how did it go? Did you discover anything interesting you'd like to share? Add those thoughts to the comments. If you liked the video, please do give it a thumbs up so that more people can find the channel. And of course, don't forget to hit subscribe to not miss out on any future videos. Well, until next time, have a great one.